I would like to address first what you said about pursuit of happiness and how if drinking is what makes them happy, that's what they should do, and that they drink within their own house. Well, not all people are going to sit there and drink in their house. People go out in public and drink. Even if that's what that makes them happy, they can do that, but they know it's dangerous. Just like people like to smoke, they know that's dangerous. And if that's what makes them happy, and they know it's bad for them, well, then they shouldn't get upset that when they find out they're dying, well, they were just doing what makes them happy.
So you're saying the smoker shouldn't be able to get along, and someone who's going to be shouldn't be able to get a hard music?
Yeah, absolutely not. Because even I know for a fact, because people who smoke, if you go to the doctor and say, well, I'm sick, I need a lung, they're not going to give you it if you're still smoking.
Why?
So you shouldn't get a liver. If you're an alcoholic, you're sick, you're going to drink. But it's not about smoking for obesity. It's about livers. If it were about all organs, that'd be different. But what I'm saying is that if that's what makes them happy, they have a right to do it, but they don't have a right to make a dangerous lifestyle choice and expect a liver when they know they're sick. Yes.
Are they born equal to other people? Do they not have the right to receive equal treatment?
Not if they made a decision that they knew would injure their health.
Do all people who drink know that they're doing that? Every single person?
Everyone knows that alcohol is bad.
Everyone.
How do you not know
Questions? Raise your hand.
Sorry. Are you speaking for everyone who's ever drank?
I'm saying the majority of people know that alcohol is bad. They know that it's a dangerous substance that they're putting into their body, and they know that if they continue to do this, it's not good for them. And I'd also like to address the fact that it's people who are sickest get livers. And alcoholic liver disease is a disease that can be diagnosed before cirrhosis happens. If a diagnosis is made before cirrhosis occurs, and it's just fatty tissue because it starts out with fatty tissue in the liver, if that person quits drinking, they can be cured. They're not going to get any sicker. But often, even if people are diagnosed with, they're like, hey, you're getting sick, you have fatty tissue in your liver, this can lead to cirrhosis, they might continue drinking, and they knew what could happen. So, yes, that's not the only treatment. A liver transplant is not the only treatment for alcoholic liver disease. Am I allowed to take questions from the audience?
No.
Oh, and it's chosen by priority and how sick a person is. And alcoholic cirrhosis, what's a cirrhosis?
I really thought she could answer
So
the question.
is that the only factor
What?
for deciding?
It's usually how sick a person is. If you're sicker, you're going to move up higher on the list.
So is there no moral obligation to give it to someone who has a higher chance of survival, even if they drink, than the person?
Well, that's also a factor is their age and their lifestyle choices and stuff like that. So, but also if a person is sicker, that is their main way of deciding it. Like other factors are considered, but an alcoholic may be sicker, but you have a little tiny kid or someone else who's never drank a day in their life, they just happen to get sick and they get pushed behind them and they die while waiting for a liver.
So an elderly man, he's like got cirrhosis from non-alcoholic stenosis, okay, but then there's a alcoholic and he has a chance of living way longer than the other person. Then why shouldn't he get a chance to live if the elderly is just going to die in the future?
Well, an alcoholic may just die anyway because 90% of alcoholics will start drinking or have some form of relapse in their first 40 years of recovery, and they're only required to quit drinking for 6 months to get a liver.
Did you know that they are more likely to reject?
That's not a question. That's not a question.
Do you have another question?
Why should their past decisions and past lifestyle choices affect their future?
Because it's a dangerous life decision. They knew that it could be consequences. Most people who drink know that there's consequences of drinking and that this was a bad lifestyle choice. It's not necessarily past. They might still be continuing to drink.
Do you think that people deserve second chances and that it might change their lifestyle?
I think it depends. In this scenario, I think that alcoholism they made that choice and they're likely to make that choice again. So I don't think they deserve it.
But how is this different than other scenarios?
Well, it depends. See, I'm not referring to other scenarios, I'm referring to this. And that, I think an alcoholic, they deserve a second chance they deserve a chance to quit drinking. They deserve a chance to go into a recovery program or go into AA and try and stop their addiction. But if that fails, or they deserve the chance to quit drinking, but I don't think a person who makes self-destructive choices like drinking alcohol, I think they deserve that they need a straight
So we should deny everyone who makes unhealthy decisions the right to live and just like tell them, hey, you gotta die.
I'm not saying deny them the right to live, I'm saying they're bad choices. They made self-destructive choices and poor life choices, and they reduced their chance to live anyway.
Last question.
By denying them with a transplant, that's denying their right to live, right? Like if it's fatal.
Well, then yes, because they made the choices that put them in that situation.